Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast, and now here's a guy who's going to be able to sleep easy for the next 7 days, because this guy right behind me, Josh, is not going anywhere. I'm Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to night 2 of the Big Brother 2-night premiere, and I'm very excited to talk about a really fun episode. We got to meet a lot of these really crazy characters tonight and see a lot of fireworks going on in the Big Brother 19 house, even though it is so early in the game, in the first 48 hours or so. A lot of drama going on. And here with us to break it all down for the first time in Big Brother 19 is the other half of the LFC. We talked with Alex and Brent last night. So let's bring in Taran and Melissa, who are going to be with us tonight. First up, a man who is licking his wounds after Cameron went home. But we're not going to talk about the draft. Here's Taran. How are you?
I feel incredibly inspired by a fellow robot. I finally have the courage to say that, Rob, I just don't like you very much. And
yes,
Melissa,
you don't like me.
Yeah,
you don't like me. Why? What am I doing?
I just don't like you that much.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Megan, I just don't like you that much.
No. Okay. Somebody that we do like very much, though, is here. Melissa Deni. Melissa, how are you?
I'm doing great. I feel like I've watched like 7 episodes of Big Brother just in one night. I feel like everything was going on and it was great.
All right, let's just set the scene right now. It is almost 10:30 on the East Coast and 7:30 here on the West Coast. We are but about 2.5 hours away from the Big Brother 19 live feeds kicking off. So it is a banner night for the LFC. We will have an update tomorrow live on our Facebook page, the RHAP is a Podcast Facebook page. I wanted to shoot for about noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific for that. So be on the lookout for that. That will be a podcast, and we'll try to do that every Friday for you guys. Given overnight Thursday, often we will get either the HOH competition to start or even the HOH sometimes, but that's usually a crazy night, so we will have that. And then the LFC will be bringing you updates throughout the week on their own, so we're very excited about that this season. So more details on that to follow. And of course, if you want to get your hands on the Big Brother live feeds, the easy way to do that and help support RHAP as a Podcast, go to RHAPisawebsite.com/live feeds. You can get 1 week of CBS All Access completely for free. It's just $5.99 a month. After that, you can get access to streaming CBS, watch Big Brother on you don't even look. You could be a cord cutter if you want. You can say, forget about the cable, and let me just watch Big Brother on the CBS All Access. Plus, you can watch a whole bunch of other CBS shows, including Survivor. RHAPisawebsite.com/live feeds. Okay. So many headlines tonight to get into. Of course, hashtag RHAP if you want to get your questions into the show. So let's just start with, I guess, our breakout star of the night is Josh. I felt like from the second I saw him sit down with Big Jeff, you knew this guy was going to be a star, and he killed it tonight. Very excited to see, at least for a couple of weeks, Taran, that here is Josh, and he is bringing it in Big Brother 19.
Yes, this is a perfect scenario. You offer up immunity for like totally trashing your game, and this is exactly the outcome we want. We want somebody like Josh taking up that offer and then freaking out on everyone. And now we're guaranteed to see him for at least a week.
Yeah, he's great. And we were very concerned he could have gone out in Thursday, or at least we would have missed some of him on the live feeds. We will at least get to see, although he could have quit by now, Melissa. He might have already self-evicted by the time the live feeds come on.
There's really no telling what Josh is going to do next. I didn't even understand what he was doing during this episode, and that's when they've created a narrative around him. So I honestly I have no idea what to expect from him. This is definitely not the scenario that I was expecting from him. We had him, being the first person to break down, crying, freaking out at people, starting the first fight, calling a house meeting. Really, he was everything we had hoped for and more.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And he is really, we wanted a new Devin. He is here and he is Josh. And he's fantastic. I loved how, just from the start of the episode, he was feeling emotional. and he felt like he had this target painted on his back. Taran, do we think that this is an actual target that he had on his back? Like, do you think he might have been ending up on the block?
It's so hard to tell because obviously we get the diary room sessions from people like Jillian and Megan who are saying if he hadn't done that, then like we weren't targeting him. I don't know why he thought we were, but people often say that to like justify their outrage over being attacked. So it's not necessarily true. But given that what we saw from Megan was that she was saying she wanted to target the more alpha males like Cody, I'm not sure that they really would have targeted him. It really does kind of feel like Josh is projecting a little bit here.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why I think it's hilarious because it's like he assumed that she was talking about him. Like, why would she talk to you about targeting the strong guys if you were actually a strong guy? He's clearly not being lumped into the strong guy category, but he mentally saw himself there.
He just totally psyched himself into it. He's like, bro, I'm going home. I gotta get that apple. I gotta go for it. I gotta do this. And he just worked himself into it. But that wasn't even the best part of it, where he's like, you know what? I need to call out Megan in front of everybody. And what is it about Megan? Why is she so hateable by everybody, all these guys in the house, Taran?
Well, the best part about it was that he was like, okay, you know what? I blew up on Megan. I need to clear the air. And I'm thinking, okay, he's going to go apologize. You know, this is the end. No, I'm going to go clear the air by calling her out in front of everybody in the house.
I need to do it in front of everybody.
So funny.
Yeah.
Like that is the complete opposite of clearing the air. But it's exactly what Devin thought he was doing when he was thinking that he was clearing the air by having house meetings. So I think the comparisons definitely were apt preseason. As far as why people are disliking Megan, we did get an interview with Allison Grodner, I believe, before the season started when she was being able to watch the feeds and we weren't. And she was saying that Megan was playing very hard and she felt like maybe she was going to burn herself out. So there may be something with that as to why people are sort of like wary of Megan. Maybe she was playing pretty hard.
Yeah, we also have our first nominees. Of course, Cody is the HOH, and we end up with Megan and Jillian on the block here of our first two nominees of the season. Melissa, did you feel like that was where Cody was going to go, or were you buying that Paul was going to end up being pissed?
I figured that was the direction he was going to go. I don't think that he would have put Paul up right away. And also, I mean, Cody's compiled his little cool kids alliance, and now he's going to target the outsiders, aka everyone who doesn't look like a beautiful person or whatever in his eyes. So I saw that coming, and I'm a little surprised that was the direction that Cody went, but at the same time, I'm not surprised at all because that seems kind of his thing.
Okay, Taran, you teased this at the top of the show. Cody's nomination speech. Let me play the longer version of that.
I've nominated you, Jillian, and you, Megan. Megan, I just don't like you that much.
Boy, not since Dez in Australian Survivor. Kat, I don't like you sometimes. Yeah, what a speech. What a speech.
I can't listen to it without laughing. I just burst out laughing when I heard it.
Megan, I just don't like you that much.
I just don't like you that much.
So perfect.
Melissa, who could argue with that?
You can't really. I mean, I honestly think it's such a great speech because it's just so blunt and no one really does that. Like nobody will just say, I just don't like you very much. Like they'll come up with some long drawn out reason, or they'll try and make it seem like, you know, I just saw you as a big threat, or anything like that to try and sugarcoat why they're like putting someone on the block. But he just was like, I just don't like you. The end.
Yeah. I'm surprised that Josh didn't say, bro, could I get a high five? I hear that. Yeah, he was into that. No, Cody really fancies himself as this master player of the game, but this will not work. I mean, Taran, doesn't this go against every convention that we know about Big Brother? I mean, haven't we seen, you know, all of the great Big Brother players when we talk about the Dans, the Wills, the Derricks? Don't these people all, even though they may reveal nothing, they don't give you the impression that they're revealing nothing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, somebody like Dan Giesling will often say you want to listen more than you talk. You don't want to give too much away, but you don't want to have a stone cold face. Even when Cody is talking to Mark and saying, "I'm totally with you, man. We're good." Mark is like, "Oh, that's great because I got nothing from you before this." So like, yeah, you want to be able to show that you are interested and show something. Cody just like plays by his own rules with everything, and I think that means like with the house, with production, like people just don't care.
Yeah. Melissa, what's your read on Cody? Because to me, that I think that this idea of that I am going to be this unemotional robot, no offense to Taran, that it's not Big Brother is such a social game. And that of the three elements of being good in the competitions and also having a strategic game, the social element is the most important element. And it seems like that is not something that he is even willing to show to people.
Yeah, I don't see this working out very well for him, but I mean, at the same time, it's totally possible that this is just part of the edit, and when we see him on the live feeds, he'll be very different. Who knows? But at the rate he's going, I don't really see this going well for him because you've got to have some sort of connection with people. And yeah, like you guys were saying, even the people that he supposedly like really felt a connection with didn't know that he felt a connection with them. So I feel like that's going to be a struggle for him coming like when he can't just win out. He's got to go with people.
We've seen on back-to-back nights, we saw that conversation that he had with Paul, which Paul described as super awkward. And then we had that conversation that he had with Megan. And he just really, you could say like, oh, what a poker face this guy has. But it's almost like the opposite. He has no poker face. If he does not care for you, he can't even with you when he is sitting in the room with you. And that is not a good strategy for this game.
No, yeah. It seems to me that he has a lot of things that he doesn't like, that he like has no tolerance for. And he says a lot of those things in the diary room. He's like, well, I have no tolerance for people who are selfish. I have no tolerance for people who don't care about the game. I have no tolerance for people who aren't competitive. Like, there are too many things that you don't like. Like, what do you like? Do you like anything? I feel like that's
he likes Jessica. That we know.
Yes.
We know something that he likes.
Yeah, that was the one time I saw him smile the entire episode.
Yeah, that's the only person that could get him to crack. But other than that, everything else, he's just so stone-faced about everything and so unemotional. It really is going to be interesting to see how he handles being in the spotlight here in week one. Because I think that the key to being the week one HOH, there have been some people who've done a really good job with it and some people who've done a really bad job with it. And the people that have done a really good job with it are the people that have said, hey, I'm the HOH, but what's the will of the house? How do we make this into a really fun week? I think that the more you try to assert your will over the house and really establish a game plan and a tone, I feel like that is something that is often going to come back and bite you as that first HOH, Melissa.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I definitely see this week coming back to bite Cody. I don't see this week just like going really smoothly and everyone loves him by the end of it and he gets out one person that everyone wants out. I don't see that happening. I think that, I mean, it's going to be great for feeds and I'm very excited about it. And I'm very happy he won HOH because, this is going to be great. But I don't see this going well in the long run for his game.
Yeah. Taran, do you think that this is going to be a problematic week to be HOH for Cody?
I mean, it's definitely going to be something. I think that winning these two competitions back to back is puts such a huge target on his back. Not only that, but the way that he acts as HOH, I think that he really just feels like he's in charge. I think that that's going to continue to be something that it's just really going to set the tone. Like, he is never going to get this target off of his back from playing these 2 weeks like this.
Yeah, and it's also interesting that it's a pretty divided house. I mean, it's not like a firm line between the two sides of the house, but you have where Cody is gathering his troops, and then he is diametrically opposed from this other side of the house, these offbeat people that we saw who voted together on that first vote. I mean, this is a little bit of a different scenario where normally it's like, okay, well, everybody's new in the house, but the people already have voted. And as my good friend Stephen Fishback likes to say, that an alliance really ends up is nothing until people have voted together. But you have that one side of the house that already has cast their votes, Melissa. And I feel like that you really might see this galvanize that offbeat side of the house.
I mean, I hope so. I really hope so. I mean, I would love to see the two sides of the house going at it. Because in the past, it's always been the big giant alliance forms in the beginning. They pick off the outside people one by one. And then when it gets down to numbers where the outside people can't do anything, they finally are like, wait a second, what's going on here? We should form an alliance together and go against them. And it's like, oh, too late. You already waited too long. You guys don't have the numbers anymore. So it's nice to see maybe something start to form right away. So that way we don't have to wait till the bitter end when the underdogs can't pull it together.
Yeah. Now, we saw Cody talking about the first, okay, I'm going to have in my group, it's obviously going to be Matt and it's going to be Mark, which won't be confusing to have Matt and Mark in an alliance with each other all season long. But then he said, well, now the second tier of my alliance is the babes. I need to get them in there. But Taran, we didn't see any of the women, as Monica Bailey might say, co-signing, hey, we are in the alliance with Cody. In fact, those women, I believe they voted with the offbeat group last night when we saw them send Cameron out of the house. So where do you think that the Jessicas and some of the other women in that group end up coming down?
It's hard to tell. We saw very little from them. I mean, as you said, Cody literally just named them. Who knows if he's actually spoken to them before? Certainly, given the fact that he thought that he was just going to go up to Mark and be like, yo, we're good, right? Even though I've shown you no affection whatsoever up until this point, it's probably very likely that he just feels like, oh, I'm totally good with them. But they feel like, I've got nothing from Cody yet. I have no idea if he likes me. So, who knows? But I'm sure by the time the feeds come on, we'll know one way or the other.
I really hope that Cody goes up to the girls and says, like, all right, you guys are the babes of my alliance, and that's what this is. Like, we're the bros, you're the babes. And I hope the girls are totally disgusted by it and are like, oh my God, I want nothing to do with these guys, and we're going to form our own thing. Yeah, that's my hope.
The girls be like, good job, loser. Yeah, good job, loser. We're not in your alliance. Taran, let's talk about the core of the Cody alliance. He goes out to Matt and Mark and really ends up forming the most basic Big Brother alliance one could possibly imagine.
Yeah, it's the Bro Alliance.
Wow. Never heard of that.
so rare in Big Brother to have a Bro Alliance. Not too surprising given, Mark's personality, or Matt's personality, Cody. These are people that will just gravitate toward each other, generally, especially with somebody like Cody who wants to take charge and like pull these guys together. I really, we need to blame Alex Kidwell for Matt. Obviously, but
not his fault.
I think Mark is the weak link here. I think that he's kind of the Ollie in this situation. He's so in love with these girls. He's going to totally fall for one, and they're going to pull him out of this, I think. Okay.
We saw Christmas talk in the episode about how that she was really feeling good after last night. Melissa, what was your impression of Christmas after the close call last night?
What, when she did her whole little like, I know who's targeting me now. It's two people, and that's not going to work for me. Like all of her hand gestures that she does. She does a lot of this, like one person, two people, and it's me. And I was kind of like, oh boy. But at the same time, I like her a lot so far. So, I'll let her go with the hand gestures because I do a lot of hand gestures myself. But I also don't really think that that's something that, I don't think it's that telling that two people voted to evict her or whatever. Like, I think it was like the first couple days. I don't think that it really tells her much of anything. Because if anything, Josh wants to work with her now. So, I mean, I think it was a lot of playing it up for the DR, which, by the way, speaking of the DR, I'm very happy about what's going on with the DR right now. I feel like this is the most like low key, most genuine DR like group of house guests that we've had, because normally there's so much yelling and there's so much like stupid puns and like funny quips, and I just really like how people are very like very regular and real. And I feel like they're actually saying what they mean and what they're thinking. And I'm glad that no one's trying to like play up some sort of character except maybe Paul, but we already knew that was happening. And I mean,
because I was hearing from people on Twitter, because obviously Taran and I did the podcast a couple of weeks ago, like why Survivor fans should check out Big Brother. And I got from more than one person on Twitter tonight saying, Rob, I don't understand, why is everybody yelling in the diary room? I'm watching Big Brother for the first time. I don't understand why everybody's yelling at me.
Yeah, that's what they always do. Season after season, there's always at least one yeller in the DR. And then there's always, you know, them feeding them stupid like jokes and lines to say. And you never feel like you get anything from the DR because it's just, you know, what production wants them to say. And I hate it. And this season, I feel like there's actually people being real. And the person who I thought would be least real in the DR, which is Josh, it seems to be the most real in the DR. So I've been very pleased with what we've been getting.
Yeah. Well, I think part of it is that we're coming straight off of Big Brother Canada, which tends to have even worse DRs. And it's also the beginning of the season where they're not as good at doing the produced DR stuff, which you usually get a little bit better DRs in the very beginning because they're not like good enough at giving the producers what they want. However, I do think that Josh has been very good. And I think that Cody is just completely unwilling to give them what they want. Cody is just so straight-laced in the DR. I think it's honestly, if Cody has any popularity, I think half of that stems from just his completely straight-faced DR sessions. It's so unusual. It's absolutely fantastic. It's such a breath of fresh air. Even though he's like being super arrogant all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just great.
No, even though he's playing right into the Big Brother stereotype of forming like a bro alliance and getting all the cool kids on one side, like I'm still interested in Cody because of the fact that he's just not giving anything to production. He's not giving production anything that they want. So, and he's not willing to buy into the whole like, okay, now give a whole speech to you know, the nominees and all that sort of stuff. It's funny. It's great.
Yeah, that is interesting, Taran. Do you think that Cody could end up being some sort of like anti-hero where he ends up like, because he's not willing to play the game of Big Brother, and he doesn't seem to be the type of person that's interested in like doing like a catchphrase or anything like that? Could he be just like reject the system so much that people embrace him?
I think it's possible. I think the problem is that if he goes too far down this bro alliance thing, I think he's definitely like across the line when it comes to problematic things that he says. I think that'll probably bite him at some point. And so, and like this whole shtick might get old if people are really sick of the bro alliance and the problematic stuff. But I do think it right now, at the very least, it is very refreshing and it's very interesting to watch a character like this on this show because it's very unique. It's something we don't usually see. We'll see how long it lasts. Like, is it going to still be interesting after 4 weeks? I'm not sure, but right now I'm enjoying it.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about Paul. We haven't touched on him too much. Let me just get your quick reactions to Paul being back in the house because you guys were not on the show last night. Melissa, friendship, pissed, or never cared about Paul being back season 2 in a row?
Not thrilled, but I already saw it coming, so I feel like I mentally prepared myself to have Paul come back. And I also like, I mean, putting aside the whole like putting on the chaps and being like the funny guy of the episode. I'm glad that I feel like he's kind of laid low so far, or at least they've given like other characters a chance to kind of show themselves, like Josh. I feel like Josh was the star of the episode and Cody. So I'm kind of into that. And as long as Paul kind of like fades into the background as kind of just a normal house guest and they don't give him like any crazy airtime, then I think I can be okay with it.
Well, Taran, let me get your take on this because I feel like that we were talking about last night of like, how did people win over the friendship bracelet? I think that Jason really has played the Paul being back in the house perfectly. Now, again, I don't know how intentional any of this was, but this is what you have to do. If you want to really win Paul over, here is Jason who comes along with, hey, Paul, I've got some props for you to do wacky stuff. Look what I found. Here, get on my back. And you could ride on me like a horse. That is exactly the kind of stuff that you needed to do. Like, had Cameron come and said like, hey, Paul, I found some bowling pins. Can you try to juggle with me? I think that is exactly the kind of thing that is going to make Paul feel warmly towards it. Like, if you could be setting Paul up to be doing things where he could be getting screen time, that's what you want to be doing.
Absolutely. Like for Cameron to go to Paul and be like, I want to be your Victor. Victor never would have said that. Victor doesn't think that strategically. Paul doesn't want somebody that strategic. He wants somebody like Victor, who's just like a big kind of goofball that's going to do really well in comps. And if Jason can provide him with goofball moments and then also do well in comps, then I think Jason is much more likely to be Paul's Victor this season.
How funny was it, though, when Cody was reacting to Paul riding around on Jason? I mean, that is really, the Cody reaction shots have been pretty priceless.
Incredible. Like zero emotion. Like he's completely pissed off at what he's looking at. Like it's amazing. It's like a little child at like a family event that's just like, I'm so annoyed I'm here.
I am not amused. Really, he can't even fake it. He can't even fake it. Also, just going back to Megan, who, Melissa, we were told that she is some sort of an interrogator, but she seemed to have moved on from this interrogation pretty quickly, where it's like, yep, he's not telling me anything, so I guess I'll see you later.
Yeah, I feel like she may not be the best interrogator, and there may be a reason why she's no longer an interrogator.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, at the same time though, like I feel for her, because how are you supposed to talk with a person like that if the person is completely unwilling to give you anything? And when he's sitting in there in the DR saying, I'm not going to buy into this cliche campaigning stuff, it's like, well, then what are we supposed to do? How can someone campaign to someone who's not accepting campaigns?
She really was bad in that she was, Cody was saying that she was doing all the cliche things of save me. But I think she's like, Taran, didn't she like literally say, she's like, whatever you need, yada, yada, yada. Like she really did come in with like the boilerplate. Yeah. Whatever you say to the HOH in this spot, like exactly that. Like she gave him like the Hallmark card of, so I hear I'm on the block. Here's the template of that.
Yeah.
And as far as the interrogation goes, Taran, Saeed Jarashi is not.
No, she's not. It really did. It felt compulsory. Just like, all right, let me go. Okay, I'm supposed to say, all right. So keep me safe. I'll keep you safe next week. Let's see. We're totally good. I have nothing against you. But if you do put me up, we're still good. Don't worry about that. Is that everything? What am I getting anything back here? No. All right. I tried.
So, well, okay. See you on the block.
Yeah.
Bye. So let's see how she ultimately does. I really thought that Cody was going to be putting himself into a precarious position if he was going to go through with nominating Paul, because we know that there is going to be the Den of Temptation looming on Sunday night. We all presume that Paul is going to be the recipient of 3 weeks of immunity, thanks to what is it called? The Pendant of Protection, Taran?
Yes, the pendant. They I feel like somebody tweeted this at me. I feel like they watched the LFC roundtables. They really enjoyed my alliterations, so that they've taken it on this season. And they've really punched up the alliteration game.
No, what I had heard was that it's actually all one big product placement for the kickoff of Big Brother After Dark on Pop. That's what it stands for, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Not TV. It's not TVGN anymore, Melissa.
Yeah, no, it's no longer TVGN.
Yeah. Look out for Pop. Okay. Speaking of Pop, Kevin was again, he's really he knows exactly who he is in this game. He's the guy who just is like completely like, where am I? What am I doing? What is going on here? And again, he does not even know who Nicole is, who showed up to host the competition. And he was very funny in terms of his reactions to everything that Josh was doing. How did you like the advice that Kevin was giving Josh, Taran?
For which part? When he was like after he took the apple or before?
No, this was after, when he was reacting to Josh's blow up at Megan.
I don't remember what he said. What did he say?
He's just like, yeah, I don't know if I would have done that. That was that was a lot. That was a lot. Yeah. I was like, whoa, this guy. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. But yeah, he does not know who Nicole is. Melissa, were you surprised that they not only did they bring Paul back, but they bring in Nicole on night 2 for really no apparent reason, especially that, you talked about how Paul last night was talking about Snake Cole, and then you have this Den of Temptation, and we didn't really even have a tie-in to Nicole being a snake, supposedly, and then being there in this Garden of Eden.
We also didn't have a tie-in to like what her costume was all about. Like,
why
was she dressed in like all gold with like a crown or something? Like, no one really explained that. It was never really covered. It would have made a lot more sense if she was dressed as a snake, and then everyone's like, oh, okay, it makes sense. But I have no idea what she was wearing or why. I don't really know why she was there. Yeah, I don't know. I guess to bring people, people were saying on Twitter that it's probably like, we see what you're doing, CBS. You want Nicole to campaign on behalf of Paul so that people vote for Paul for the, next temptation. So I don't know. I don't know if
that's a real conspiracy
that,
theory to me.
Yeah.
I mean, is Paul really in danger? Who's beating Paul out in this vote, Taran?
Right.
Nobody. I mean, like Paul was on all of last season. Like, there's no way he's going to get beat in this vote.
No way.
Yeah, and not even like that it was like a rating stunt because they didn't tell anybody that she was going to be there. So I don't know necessarily what the reason to bring Nicole in this spot other than, hey, guys, I won the HOH last season. So just goes to show you winning this first HOH is a good path to win the game.
Maybe it was one of those ideas. Like somebody came up with the idea, like we should have Nicole on. Like, oh yeah, that's great. And they're like afterward, like, what are we actually gonna do with this? But we've already contacted her. Let's just do it. Let's
throw her in a costume.
Yeah,
throw her in a costume. Put her on the HOH competition. Done.
There you go. Anything else from tonight's episode that you guys want to touch on before we start diving into some of the questions from the listeners? Okay. Let's do it. Let's do the questions. Hashtag RHAP as we are sitting here closing in on just 2 hours to live feeds tonight. Here we are with Bradley Michael, who says, like a lot of Big Brother, the rules aren't 100% clear. But couldn't Kevin have won round 1 and then refused to be the player in round 2? I thought he could have also played in round 1 and then just not won round 2. Do we know that if he could he have potentially won the first part, Melissa?
Yeah, I see. I was unclear with that as well. I was wondering if maybe he could like make it so it wasn't necessarily him losing for his whole team, but just losing for himself and not getting HOH. I'm not really sure. And also, couldn't he have just insisted to Josh that he went or go first and then get the apple? Like, would that be considered like winning? I don't know. So I'm a little confused on the rules as well, but I guess it didn't really matter because Josh disqualified them.
Didn't matter. I feel like that we got robbed of Kevin trying to throw the challenge, Taran.
Yeah, I feel like definitely. That would have been really entertaining to see him like struggling on the vines, and instead we got nothing.
It wouldn't surprise me if production told him you have to throw the team part because they want that drama of him ruining it for his teammates. And then also if he does make it to the one-on-one, that doesn't make for exciting television when you know he's gonna lose. So I feel like maybe they told him you have to throw this part, but then they kind of got unlucky by the fact that Josh was the one that wanted to take the apple and he was on his team, so we didn't get to see it anyway.
Great moment when Josh brings back the apple too and yells out,
I ain't going nowhere.
Right, he's going nowhere. Josh is going nowhere, everybody. Okay,
he acts like he like needed to win that to save his Big Brother life.
Like
and
Kevin
it's like
Martin in the triple veto.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is my house.
Yeah. Brett wants to know, what are the chances Cody and Jessica are Caleb and Amber 2.0? I mean, Melissa, do you feel like there's a chance that Jessica is not going to reciprocate Cody's feelings and that he may become obsessive?
Oh, I could totally see Jessica not reciprocating. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I actually kind of am excited to see that. So hopefully that's the case.
Yeah. On an unrelated note, I want to come out. I want to plant my flag on something and call my shot. Josh will be your week 2 HOH.
I ain't going nowhere.
He'll be out week 3, But he will be. I'm telling you, this is a classic Big Brother story. And week 2 HOH seems just about right. HOH-itis. It's going to be an insane week next week. Josh, because half the people throw these first couple of HOHs. Cody can't play. Josh is definitely winning HOH next week.
Did you already pick your Big Brother winner?
Yeah, I went with Christmas on that first night, but I just felt like that was a chalk pick.
Yeah,
not looking bad.
Josh will absolutely try to like backdoor somebody like we wouldn't like he just made this bond with Christmas. He'll absolutely try to backdoor Christmas. Like that'll be the move he makes as HOH.
He's gonna call like 50 house meetings.
Yeah,
he's great.
It's gonna be great.
Okay. Kimberly wants to know, could you please tell us about what you think about the jingle bell sound effect that Christmas has been given? Taran, do we just have all of these like Foley sound effects left over from Christmas Corey last year, and then they're just sitting on the hard drive? Throw that in there.
I wonder if that's why they cast her. Like we got so much Christmas stuff. There's this girl named Christmas in our casting. Why don't we just like take her and use all this stuff? Like, why not?
Yeah. Melissa, I definitely think that the chances of Corey hosting a competition down the stretch have greatly increased with Christmas in the mix.
Oh, definitely. You're going to see Corey doing, doe eyes at Christmas just because of her name.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting for me.
And then also with all the like weird names for the temptation stuff, maybe they can do a Harry Potter tie-in as well. Like
maybe
get it all going.
Okay. Joe Daly wants to know, why all the hate from Megan? Is she the Big Brother version of Brad Culpepper? Yeah, everybody's just like, F you, Megan. I don't know exactly, other than if you're saying that she's playing the game too hard. It does look like that they have that one side of the house, and she seems to have been the figurehead. Do we think, Melissa, that it was a lot of what Josh did? Did that sort of make her the lightning rod that she got called out in front of everybody?
I have no idea, really. It's so hard to tell without feeds because they make it seem, it really is only based on whatever each person is saying in the diary room at this point. Because we don't know what she's done or if she really has been campaigning super hard or, I don't know. But at this point, it seems like she really hasn't been doing that much to garner this much like disdain from the other players. It's kind of weird to me, but at this point, all I can think of is that she's just been playing really hard and just straight from the get-go, which is, as we know, not a great thing to do. So
yeah. Taran, do you think it's the hair? Do you think she stands out too much from that group?
I don't
if she had a normal color hair, would she be that indistinguishable from what Jillian is doing?
No, I don't think it's the hair at all. I think granted, we all know that people with like, what is it, blue hair? I don't even remember.
Yeah, that's not a good look. Yeah. I'm not talking aesthetically, but going back to Joey.
Yeah. Blue-haired people cannot be trusted. I'm sticking that flag in the mud.
No, people were comparing her to Joey, saying like, okay, she dyes her hair blue. She decides to rally the girls against some all-guys alliance that hasn't formed yet. And then she gets on the block week 1. Like, it's very uncanny.
Okay. So this is from Molotov Cocktail Piano, who wants to ask us, do you think that Cody has the potential to become one of the all-time biggest villains in Big Brother history? Melissa, does he have that upside? Because I do feel like that Big Brother villains are tricky. They're like either universally reviled or they end up being somewhat embraced. Do you think that Cody could go down either of those paths?
I feel like he could definitely go down either of those paths. I could definitely see him being a villain that everybody hates and cannot stand because he seems like the type who might say some potentially very offensive things. And so I could see him going down that path where nobody likes him. Or I could see him going down the path where it's so fun to like root against him and to, just see him go wild with his villainy and his reigns of terror and stuff like that. But it's tough to say at this point without feeds. At this point, I'm loving what's going on with Cody. I don't really like the whole bro alliance thing very much, but I do like what Cody's giving us so far. And I'm excited to see him build his reign up and then get it completely toppled down.
Taran, the thing about Cody that is going to be interesting to watch, something that you and I have talked about a lot, about how the really great Big Brother player, like a Will or a Dan, they're able to make that connection with the audience. And to me, that is just something that Cody is not interested in the least.
Yeah, and villains are often also entertaining, and I feel like Cody has been entertaining to watch, but he's not an entertaining person. And he's also the kind of person that I could easily see on the feeds just being extremely dull. Like he's great in the edit of the show because he's such a contrast, but on the feeds, if he's just sitting around just like, yeah. Then people are going to get really bored of him pretty quickly. And yeah, he just like, he can't connect to the other people in the house. He's certainly not going to be able to connect to the audience. Like, who is, like saying, oh yeah, I totally recognize myself in Cody. I am totally a Cody.
Hopefully no one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few serial killers out there like, oh man, this is my guy.
This guy, my
Like-
spirit animal.
I finally found someone, a kindred spirit.
Lawson wants to know, how do we feel about the Rob Gronkowski Silver Fox serial murderer alliance? Okay. So that do you guys remember Rob Gronkowski, that he came into the house in Big Brother 17 and did a takeover and took Meg Malley on a cruise ship?
Yeah.
You guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
To this day, it's rumored that she's still on the cruise.
No, she's not still on the cruise. So what is that? The Rob Gronkowski serial killer Silver Fox? Is that going to catch on, Melissa?
Well, I hope that's not the alliance name. That would be a very long alliance name to say. Yeah, I mean, I hope that alliance doesn't last for a long time. I don't know. I kind of wanted to see those guys pair up with other people and not just like be the bros. I always hate the bro alliance. So I'm hopeful that that does not take on and does not last.
Yeah, I don't think that is going to be able to run the table. Taran, do you think that there is brigade upside for those guys? I had tweeted earlier tonight that they're like the brigade without the personality.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the brigade had something special. They had Matt as this like crazy, theorist, essentially, like
Mad scientist. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Coming up with these crazy ideas. And they had Hayden, who was amazing, like Hayden and Enzo and Lane. They were all amazing socially.
He was like the straight man, Hayden.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, granted, we don't know much about these people, but there was definitely not a Cody in the mix. Cody puts a huge target on all of their backs. If it's obvious that these people are together, they're all going to be targeted. So I don't see that happening at all. Also, Cody seems the type to be like, no, we're not naming this.
There will not be a name to this alliance. Mark that down.
That is so Cody.
No way.
Oh my God.
Nope. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. Stop.
And the DR is like, please, just give us something. Give us a name. He's like, no, that's stupid.
Okay.
Naming is for selfish people and whiners.
Well, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And he tells the DR, don't beg. I don't
Don't
respect that.
Don't beg. Hashtags are the enemy. Jen wants to ask us, do you think that Jillian is going to be the Pawn Star this season? She already seems to be an easy nomination. Was it Jillian that we heard say that, hey, if you go up on the block once, then people are going to say, hey, she's okay with being up on the block. Let's just keep putting her up there, Melissa.
Oh, yeah. I definitely could see her being the pawn of the season. That seems to be right up her alley, which I guess is kind of good because it means she'll last a long time. I mean, good for her. But yeah. That I think that DR where she's saying she does not want to be the pawn is very telling and makes us think that, yeah, she's going to be the pawn.
That being said, Taran, can you come up with a scenario where Jillian ends up going home this week?
I mean, certainly, if the idea is to backdoor Paul and then Paul gets safety from this temptation thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then Megan turns out to be a capable player and manages to rally some votes around herself, we could easily see Jillian going home as collateral damage.
Yeah, I could see the scenario where it's really like that offbeat alliance decides, hey, we need Megan more than we need Jillian. So that alliance might be forced to try to save her. And maybe they ultimately have enough numbers where even if the Cody, Mark, and Matt group, they want Megan out as the target, it ends up being sort of like this Big Brother 2 type scenario where the person that they want out ends up staying in the house. That probably would be the best case scenario for Megan if that group really makes her known as the target.
Yeah.
I mean, it does seem like a not ideal way to play week one, where, instead of finding some sort of like universal consensus, picking out somebody, two people from the other side of the house. I mean, it could have been worse. They could have put up a pawn from their own side. But Taran, this does not seem like the ideal way to play this first week.
Well, no, people often unintentionally create sides of the house with the first HOH. They create a big alliance. They then pick two targets from the other side, and they usually have one target in mind, and they try to keep everything secret, everything under wraps. Keep this idea that, oh no, we're still one big happy house. Let's all vote unanimously. But then they unintentionally make it obvious what they're doing and create two sides of the house, and then people come after them the next week. Cody is doing this intentionally. He's saying, I want to create sides. I want to carve out the sides of the house. I want to pick my team, strike at the other side, and then come what may. And if somebody from that other side wins HOH, they're going straight for Cody. This is not how you play Big Brother.
Melissa, do you think that there might have been some wisdom in putting Paul up on the block at this point? And we know that production is going to have this twist, and Paul's ultimately going to be safe. But is there some logic in sort of trying to unite the house against Paul, of saying like, hey, he's the returning player. Let's all try to get him out this week and try to build some goodwill towards like the newbies working together?
Oh, yeah. I definitely see there being a good case to do that. I mean, especially because you can make the argument that, look, he's a vet. He's played before. I'm not doing this because I don't like you as a person. Well, I guess Cody wouldn't say any of that. But, there is the case to be made that just putting him straight up on the block wouldn't be that big of a deal, because it's not like Paul's coming in there with a bunch of other vets. It's him by himself. So it's not like, oh, he's targeting the vets, we need to get him out. It's just targeting Paul.
Yeah.
So
Cody's speech would be, this is because I don't like you as a person.
Yes.
I mean, it's also because you're a vet, but I also don't like you. You annoy me. You're selfish. You make victim noises. Yeah.
Just insulting everyone.
Is Paul really the anti-Cody? Because look at these two guys. First off, you have one guy who's just telling people, hey,
Megan, I just don't like you that much.
I don't like you, which is really the antithesis of friendship. It really is like the two opposite things. You have one guy who says that the thing he hates the most is victim noises, and the other guy literally walks around all the time. Oh! Like, that is one of his catchphrases. He's actually a victim noise.
Cody's not going to like that.
Yeah, he's not going to like that. So, yeah, you understand why these guys aren't on the same page.
Cody said he went through like a special, casting process. Maybe they were trying to make sure they found the exact opposite of Paul to be in the house, because they wanted these two people to play off of each other.
Yeah. So let's do some more questions. Kyle says, in the 19 seasons of Big Brother, did Josh sink his game the first week more so than Jose or any other player in Big Brother? Well, I'd like to talk about this. Do we think that Josh could potentially bounce back, Taran?
Absolutely. I don't think he sunk his game that much at all, because he's safe. He's going to last another week. This is the beginning of the game. This is when things change the most. If Josh can come out of the gates this fast, this crazy, this early, that gives him tons of time to be seen as, you know what? We were pissed at Josh, but after a week, now he just seems like the crazy guy. He's not threatening. He's not Cody. He's not going to win every competition. He's not part of this bro alliance. He's off by himself. Everybody hates him. Why don't we just pick him up? He's got nobody else.
Yeah. Melissa, where do you come down on Josh?
Yeah, I mean, if we remember season 17, Vanessa was like crying the whole first night, saying that she was going to quit and she wanted to go home and all this stuff. And we were like, oh, great, she's gone right away. There's no way she's lasting. So you've got the crying thing going on. And then, I mean, there's the whole Dr. Will thing where you make the target so big that it becomes invisible. So, I mean, it's totally possible that he could pull that off. I definitely think he still has a chance, especially because he's safe this week. I don't think if he wasn't safe this week, then it might be a little different. But I think because he's safe this week and he has some time to kind of like calm down and change the perception of him in the house, I think he has a good chance to stay.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I think he's also positioned interestingly where he's not really linked with either side right now. And, if somebody from Cody's group wins HOH, they're going to continue to target the people that are from that offbeat group, and vice versa. If they get the HOH, they're going to probably want to strike back to Cody. I think that Taran, correct me if I'm wrong, but when Devin went out in Big Brother 16, was that on Derek's HOH? Like Derek won an early HOH and then really said, okay, let me just go for somebody that is like a person who is like disrupting the house, that nobody was going to be upset that they went home. So I feel like that's the biggest danger for Josh, that somebody just ends up getting an HOH and they don't want to really upset the apple cart. And he's an easy person to put on the block in that nobody will miss him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Derek essentially, right after Devin went absolutely nuts, he was like, oh, this is this rabid dog running around. Devin was like, oh, no, come here. It's okay, little dog. It's okay. And then he just put him down, nice and quiet. He totally extinguished Devin's flame. I don't think anyone in this house is necessarily capable of that, at least from what we've seen so far. So hopefully it doesn't happen. But yeah, I mean, Derek is definitely the person that extinguished that before it could start any more fires.
Yeah. So if somebody wants to have an HOH and also not end up having a lot of blood on their hands, he'd be an easy person to put up. But I do think that he's also somebody who seems to have these manic tendencies, and he's really worked up and caught up right now. But there is a possibility he could also get his feet under him, Melissa, and we could see him potentially maybe stabilized by the time that the feeds come back on.
I mean, that's a possibility, but at this point, his track record is not so good because he was like, I voted out Christmas. I want her out. And then he's like, oh, my God, she's great. I love her. I shouldn't have voted her out. Then he's like, Megan, I don't like you. I'm going to call you out. And then he's like, Megan, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. So he really just goes back and forth. Like, you have no idea where he's going to come from next. It just depends.
But he's so excited. He's so excited to be there. He's a super fan. I mean, if you watch that interview with him with Ika, he's like going nuts that maybe after, when we've seen him now like 10 days in, it's possible that, maybe he's just like burned off a lot of that energy. And he could be, even though he'll be still pretty crazy, maybe not as crazy as we've seen. Taran, do you buy that?
I do. This was his first. He just got into the Big Brother house. He was on the wrong side of a vote. He felt really paranoid. He felt like this is way harder than I thought it was going to be. But then he could absolutely get his bearings and then find some solid ground to work from.
Okay, let's do a few more questions. Edmo wants to ask, are you surprised that Cody didn't nominate the girl who told him to eat poop? He tried to make a deal with Alex going back to last night, and she basically told him to eat excrement. He did mention her, Melissa, as one of the people that they should target from that side, but she was not. Maybe if this was Big Brother Canada, she would have been in the what do they call it? The hit list? The short list?
Yeah, the short list of people. I mean, I kind of think that comment didn't faze Cody. I feel like that he might even have respect for a comment like that.
Because it wasn't begging. He hates begging.
No, he hates begging. He hates whining. He hates victim noises. And this was the opposite of that. So I think he might have respected that. I mean, maybe he doesn't want to keep her around as a player, but I don't think that comment would have been like, oh God, he's going to get her out. Like, she's done. So I don't know.
Alex, she's the biggest threat, but Jillian, Megan, they're not threats. They're not going to win competitions. They're easy targets to put up. Alex, she's a big threat. We're not going to touch her yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't want to put up big threats, apparently.
Okay. Humby wants to know, who has the worst social game, Cody or Josh, and why is it Josh? No, I disagree. That Josh is such a wild card and so unpredictable, but I think he has the ability to be warm and be excited and just be a happy guy and a positive presence around the house. But I just don't see that. I mean, Cody can't even smile at people unless they're Jessica. And I think that's going to be the bigger problem over these 90 some odd days, Melissa.
I kind of agree, but I also feel like Cody can get along well with people that he likes. I think that if he is taking a liking to you, then you'll get a different side of Cody. I did see him, smiling at Matt. So I think that if he likes you and he's accepted you into his group, then he'll be nice to you. But if he doesn't, then he won't. And I think that Josh, on the other hand, has shown that he's just a total wild card. You have no idea where he's going to come from. And I could definitely see people being like, all right, I don't trust him at all. I don't know if he's my friend. He's my friend one day, he's my enemy the next day. Like, I don't know about him. So I think Josh might struggle.
Taran, be the tiebreaker.
I think I'm on board with that. I think that granted, again, I think this is gonna be solved pretty quickly when we get to the feeds. But Cody does seem to think he has an in with some of these girls. He could absolutely be in good with a decent majority alliance that is, these guys, a few of the girls, and they like him because he's a solid, loyal member, and that's pretty good social game. Whereas Josh has really isolated himself, and I also could see Cody as a winner of this game theoretically if he could ever make it there. Whereas I think Josh would have a harder time getting people to respect his game when he goes off on people like this.
Okay, let's do one more question, and then let's do some predictions from the live feeds. Keller Hope says, what's a stronger alliance? The outsiders of Ramses, Megan, Jillian, and Alex, or the power people, Cody, Mark, and Matt? Stronger alliance, Melissa.
That's really tough. I mean, I guess it depends what you mean by stronger. Like if they actually like each other and they want to work together, or if they're actually going to be a better alliance together. Because I feel like the outsiders actually like each other and they'd probably want to work together, but I don't really see them being strong in terms of the game or winning anything or even going anywhere together. But the power play Cool Kids Table Alliance, I don't know if they necessarily like each other at all, but I could see them going pretty far and working together because they would be able to win a bunch of comps. So
Taran, I think the guys are the alliance that's in more danger because while they can win competitions, at some point, I think you have at least a couple of these guys, and Cody probably the least of the three, that they are in the den of temptation, that these guys are going to pair off, they're going to start to hook up, and they may not always put the alliance first. Whereas I think that the misfit offbeat outsider group, I think they are there for each other.
I agree, but if you're asking like which alliance is stronger, I think the Misfit Alliance or Outcast Alliance, whatever you want to call them, I think they're already going to take a hit this week, and that leaves like 3 or 4 left already. I think these two sides are gonna fight it off. I think the strongest alliance in the house is everybody else, the people who are not going to be hitting at each other with these crazy superpowers that are going to be introduced to the game through the Den of Temptation. I think that those people who are not on a side, they're in the best position right now.
The best moment of the season, if it happens, will be when Cody gets voted into the Den of Temptation and he gets an offer and reacts to said offer from Big Brother. That will just be another
and he's just
amazing,
no. Yeah.
He's just stone faced
yeah. They're like, you have immunity for the rest of the game. He's like, well, now I don't get to compete. So
yeah. Thank you.
If that happens, I want a montage of every single person's reaction to the what they're offered. Everyone else will be like, "Oh my god, this
slow
is
motion!"
Crazy. And then Cody just all right.
He will go nuts every time someone takes a temptation. Okay, all right, somebody has gone to the Den of Temptation. And absolutely, there's so much that we'll find out Sunday night about how this is all going to work. But then when Big Brother and Julie comes on, guys, I have to tell you, so one of your house guests took another temptation. Come on!
I feel like him going nuts is just going to be him straight faced again,
just like.
Yeah, not good. Okay. All right. So let's see if we can nail anything down. Okay. We are but now just a little over 90 minutes until we get to the live feeds. Taran, do you have a prediction for when the feeds come up? What is something that we will see tonight?
Oh man. Somebody's going to be crying for sure.
Somebody's going to be crying.
Yeah. Somebody will probably streak.
Yes.
Just a repeat of BB16.
Well, last year, did the house guests know that the feeds were going to be on? I feel like that they used to sort of like have like a countdown and then they would go crazy. But I feel like that last season, that wasn't the case.
I believe you're correct. I think, last season they didn't
They didn't even
realize
seem
it.
to know.
Yeah.
Right.
Season 17, they were all over it.
Right.
But
16 and 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were doing too
last
much-
season. Last season they were just like, when are the feeds going to come on? When are the feeds going to come on? And we were all like, we're watching you already.
Mhm.
Yeah, and there was some shady stuff being said because they didn't realize the feeds were on yet. Yeah, that was a fun time.
Okay. But do you have a prediction?
I mean, I feel like I feel like the guns are going to be pointed toward Paul, and then he's going to get that immunity eventually, and that's when things are going to blow up.
Yeah. It'll be interesting, because they've been in the House for so long and that they've been sitting on these nominations for quite some time. And then the voting only opened yesterday. I think it was like a 24-hour vote. So that Den of Temptation has not happened yet. I guess that we should probably expect it if it's going to be in the Sunday night show, then it's got to happen tomorrow, right, Taran?
I think I saw somebody say that they thought it was going to be Saturday. I don't know where they got that information, but certainly by tomorrow or the next day. But you'd think tomorrow. But then when are they usually going to do it? They usually do nominations on Friday, so maybe it would be a Saturday.
Well, when did they do Battle of the they did Battle of the Block typically on Fridays, right? They did like Friday night.
Yeah, I think
Saturday would be too quick to, I think, get that into the show.
It's true.
I think that'd be tomorrow. So we may see Den of Temptation tomorrow. Melissa, how about that? Yeah, that'd be exciting.
I'll tell you what I want to see.
What do you want to say?
I want to see Jessica and Mark working together.
Jessica and Mark. Why those two?
I don't know. I just feel like they'd make a really good team. And I feel like they are friendly enough that they get along with other people in the house. But I feel like they also need each other in it. And I think Mark would be good at competitions and Jessica would be good in terms of like social and like strategic gameplay. So I really would love to see those two working together. And if it just so happens that they're, in the Cool Kids Alliance, but they're like kind of defecting from that and they're like, okay, well, we're the alliance together. We don't really want to be associated with this whole thing. I would be all for it.
Yeah, I could absolutely see Mark as not a part of this bro alliance by the time the feeds are up.
And
especially when he was saying he kind of he didn't want to go with what he kind of liked Paul. He didn't really want to go with what Cody was saying, and he kind of. Yeah. I was so nervous that Cody was going to turn to Mark and be like, "Are you serious right now? You're going against me. You're out." Like I was so nervous that he was going to say something like that, and luckily he didn't. But I could see that.
And I think we're going to turn the feeds on, and we're going to see Paul giving Cody the Paul haircut. I think they're gonna be now bonded, and now that is gonna be starting, and then he's gonna start growing a beard now too, Cody.
PC forever.
PC always pulls through. That's right. That the two opposites.
He always pulls through.
That's right. Okay. So, live feeds are coming up. If you want to get your hands on those, Rob has a website.com/live feeds. Taran, that works for you? Noon Eastern tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
Excited.
All right. So we will be doing that that's going to be on our Facebook page for Rob Has a Podcast. Be on the lookout for that. You'll be able to ask us questions live on that show, and then we will post that in the podcast feed. And then I will be back again this Sunday night to break everything down. After the Sunday night episode, we'll see about the Den of Temptation and all that. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Don't miss it. robhasawebsite.com/iTunes. All right. Do you guys have any suggestions for a hashtag? Because if not, I would like to go to hashtag opposite Paul.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So I like that. I like opposite Paul for Cody, in honor of Cody. What a night. I'm very high on these first 3 hours of Big Brother. Melissa, you're on board?
Oh, I'm very on board. I am very excited. I couldn't wait for tonight's episode, and now I can't wait until the live feeds get on. So I'm all in.
Yes. Okay. Taran, you're pumped up as well?
I hated last night's episode. I loved this one.
Why did you hate last night's episode?
Because it wasn't even Big Brother. They were just playing these random competitions, and then somebody goes home night one. I hate when somebody goes home night one. It's just like I was so excited for Big Brother, and then
Hold on. Are you just being
down.
salty about the draft? Is that
Why are you
what?
talking? Nobody cares about the draft, Rob. Why are you talking about the
Well, that
draft?
Yeah, Rob, no talking about the draft.
Yeah, come on,
Sorry.
Rob. You know better.
Wow.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry. I don't want to bore people with that. Okay. But no, I think this has been very fun so far through 3 hours. I also wanted to tell you about a feature that we're going to be having on the podcast. Honestly, I don't know how this is going to go. We are not going to be having email exit interviews, but what I was offered in place of that by CBS is the opportunity to email 3 questions a week to executive producer Allison Grodner. So if you have suggestions, we have to send them in on Thursday night. We have it in. We have 3 questions. It's like a magic genie lamp every week that we can have 3 questions answered by Allison Grodner. So if you guys have some suggestions, I got to get them in the next couple hours. If you're watching them live, send them to me on Twitter. And we will get you your 3 questions from Allison Grodner. I don't know how long of an answer she's going to give to any of these questions, but at least we have the opportunity to ask the questions. I'll post that on the website as part of the Friday update, so you guys can see what Allison Grodner says to the questions that we send her.
You were going to get so many unusable questions.
First question, why?
Yeah.
Why? That's
First
fine.
question,
Yes.
you're ruining Big Brother.
No, believe me. I hear that all the time, that I'm ruining all of these shows. So that Allison and I can relate to that on the same page. Okay. All right. So fun stuff. I can't wait to see what's going to go on the live feeds. Of course, I'm sure there will be a lot of tweeting going on tonight. Follow Taran on Twitter. He is at Armstrong Taran. Of course, Melissa is on Twitter, and she is It's Melissa with 3 A's, if you could believe that.
Yeah, it is.
Melissa. Big thanks to Scott St. Pierre behind the scenes on tonight's show. Anything else tonight, guys?
We just released the American Ninja Warrior podcast that we did with you, Rob Cesternino.
Yes, I was on Pins and Needles, Taran. That I feel like we recorded that so long ago. I was waiting for people to hear our recap of our amazing night at Celebrity American Ninja Warrior.
Yes. In case you missed it, Matt Eisman, who is on the Celebrity Apprentice, came on to do an interview with us. He invited us out to the LA taping. We went and we saw the Celebrity Edition. So I had Rob come on. We talked about our experience and also just generally messed around, because that's what we do on the American Ninja Warrior podcast.
I don't want to brag or anything like that. I do feel like that was one of my best ever podcast guest appearances.
I agree. It was great. You're great to have on as a guest.
It really felt very good.
Got lots of great feedback already. Yeah, people love it.
Right. So check that. Even if you didn't watch American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, you absolutely don't need to have watched.
Yes. Okay. So be sure to check that out. And we got a lot more coming up. So be on the lookout. RHAP is the website.com/iTunes. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.